Hello and welcome to Rabboni Catholic Community as we celebrate this 13th Sunday in Ordinary Time, and we have a very fascinating reading today. Our gospel passage is quite popular. You will know it very well. It's the story of the daughter of Jairus that is intercalated with the story of the bleeding woman, and then he goes back to finish the story of Jairus' daughter. Some readings remind me of some songs we used to sing in CCD. Not only sang this song in CCD, we sang it when I was in the postulancy, in the novitiate. I think it kind of fell off when I came to the United States because it is not as popular here in the United States. And most of you will remember it, especially from Africa. Reach out and touch the Lord as he goes by. You will find it's not too busy to hear your heart's cry. He is passing by this moment, your needs to supply. Reach out and touch the Lord as he goes by. I remember singing this hymn, and the whole church would sway as people reached out, felt the presence of the Lord as he passes by. This is what this woman does today. She reaches out in faith because she has been sick for all too long and she is tired of being sick. They tell us that this woman had a bleeding problem for 12 years. What does that mean? It means she was exorcised from her community for 12 years. For 12 years, she could not be around anybody. It was an intense psychological suffering because we are social beings at the heart. Tired of being sick, tired of being in a sick situation, she broke all rules and reached out. The first strand that I find is this beautiful aspect of Jesus being surrounded by people, barely making steps towards the house of Jairus, and somebody touches him and he stops saying, "Who touched me?" Because he felt power come out of him. Two things there. Make sure whenever you are in prayer, you are intentional. This woman came with an intention. She believed in the healing power of Jesus. And she didn't just show up at Mass. She didn't just show up wherever Jesus was to be part of the crowd. She showed up with an intention. The question that I ask myself is, how is my disposition as I show up in that place where God is? Have I suffered enough? Have I had enough of the troubles that do not enable me to have life in its fullness so that I can reach out in faith? It's not just a matter of rubbing shoulders with Jesus. It is coming to him with an intention. Lord, heal me. Lord, help me. We get the same feeling from last week's gospel. Remember when Jesus was in the boat and the waves are beating up against it, and the disciples go over and they wake him up, say, "Don't you care we are perishing?" I find that to be a very powerful prayer. Awaken the spirit within and say, "I need you now." The second thing that I find fascinating with that particular story is this whole thing of energy. Who touched me? I am not a feeling kind of a person. I'm very black and white. Last year, I took a trip to California on a retreat. While I was at this retreat house, part of the package was this thing called Reiki. I was like, I will do it because it's part of the package. So I was laying on the table and this woman was moving energy around me and I am feeling absolutely nothing. And then she went and touched my hand. And kid you not, I cried. As she touched my hand, I felt this release of energy and it only manifested itself in sobbing. And I had no idea what was going on. Later on, she said, you have been carrying a lot of negative energy on this side of your body, and when I touched your hand, it came out. So that energy can come out in terms of tears. You need that release. That energy can come out in terms of a sigh. You need a deep breath. The practice of pranayama. Breathe it out. Father Julian used to say, breathe in, sink down, and become one. So be aware of the energy around you. And let God's energy come crashing into your life so that it can give you life. The latter part of the story is Jairus' daughter. I love what Jesus does there. He does it on another occasion. When he gets into the room, it is filled with people. And what does he do? He sends everybody out. Leaves in the room only mommy and daddy. And mommy and daddy and Jesus approach the girl who is lifeless. They are the ones who approach Jesus first. And together, they approach this child. And they speak life to her. Without the negative voices that are murmuring in the background, you are dead, you are this and you are that. The child is able to hear the voice. Maybe what needs to happen for your healing is you need to push some people out. So you can surround yourself with people who speak life, with people who speak good news to you. You and I know people who are lifeless. Because of divorce, because of sickness, because of aging. May we be the ones who walk into that room with Jesus and speak life to them so that they may be revived. And if you are that person who feels lifeless, invite us there. We shall come, either via book club, via the celebration of the Eucharist, but somehow you need to surround yourself, we need to surround ourselves with people who speak life, not death. God bless you. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.